Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is David Cox, and of course, I'm the host of the New America Movement. I have my sidekick and son with me, Jordan. Jordan, say hello.
What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing this evening?
Oh, we got a little crazy show here tonight to talk about some things that it's not going to blow your mind, but, it's an insult to intelligence. Biden does this speech Thursday night outside of Independence Hall in Philadelphia, and he does it because he's trying to raise awareness of the great threats that are attacking our democracy. He calls it the extremist threat to democracy. Now, it's interesting because you have the most powerful man in the world really attacking right-wing Republicans. And I'm not talking about conservatives, radicals. I'm just talking about if you voted for Donald Trump, you are on his list. Now, remember, 80 million people voted for Donald Trump. What's interesting is he is labeling us as extremists and terrorists. Now, a lot of this is happening for a lot of reasons. And let me lay some foundation work here. The Democrats are losing terribly. There will be a new president in the office in 2024. It will not be Biden. That's my prediction. Obviously, it does, and a child, a third grader could predict that. So I'm sure most of us are on that same page. What's interesting is that he's trying to rally support by degrading the right, by saying to the public that the right are just terrorists, and if you're affiliated with the right, then you must be a terrorist also. So this is a game that the Biden administration is playing, and they're using the media to capitalize on it. And a lot of this streams from the fact that they know they're losing. They know they're needing. They don't have anything good to tell the American people. His speech was not about how great this country really is and the job that they've done to make this country better. It's about you need to vote for us even though you don't like us because the right are a little bit worse than us. Matter of fact, they're a whole lot worse than us. And matter of fact, they are terrorists. Now, Jordan, jump in on this, or maybe you don't have anything to say about this. I don't know. What do you think, son?
I think I got a few things. Well, the first thing is, when he comes out, I just want to address this real fast. Why was it black and red? That's what I want to know. Now, I got on black and I got on red today. This is for you, Joe Biden. This is all for you. Because when you wear, or whenever you come out like that, and you come out in that the way he did with Marines behind him, you have the red on each side. Now, if you watch CNN kind of changed the color of it. You can go back and check it out to like a maroon color to make it look less threatening. That's CNN. So he comes out. It looks very, 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 very bad off the rip. All of a sudden, everybody's like, what's he about to say? And then he comes in and talks about how mega Republicans are a threat to democracy. And then he goes on and says that we don't condone political violence. Well, okay. You don't condone political violence. Well, what about the summer of love? What about whenever he was in office and places were going up in smoke? What about all of these situations that we have seen over the past 2 years, even to this day, with political violence? It is everywhere, and he's condemning it on the right. He's literally saying, you're the ones, because you voted for Donald Trump. You're the ones because of January 6th. You're the ones. But never does he mention Black Lives Matter. Never does he mention the fact that we have liberal extremists, Antifa. In case you guys don't know, it's not an idea. They're actual people. That's blown out of the water.
Hey, let me throw this in for you too. Why did Ben Shapiro need 600 bodyguards and police officers to protect him when he went to speak on the campus of Berkeley? And they say they're not violent. Berkeley's one of the most liberal schools in America. So Ben Shapiro goes to speak, and he needs 600 people to protect him because the threat of violence on a school that is left-wing liberal, that is fighting and saying that we don't like violence. But when conservatives get on that campus, you have to have the police to protect them.
So let's go back in this timeline. What political violence has the right committed? January 6th. Okay, you got January 6th. Okay. that really wasn't political violence, but we'll call it that since for the sake of argument. Let's say that was. Okay. Well, the left has done 1,000 times more than that. And what I find funny about this is that Joe Biden's own administration was the one that got these extremists on the left that were in jail for breaking the law out of jail for it.
And what's interesting, you and I went to 3 MAGA rallies in D.C. right before the election took place. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, we were at January 6th. Just for the record, we did not go inside the Capitol. We were on the mall.
Yeah, we wasn't on the Capitol.
We went back about 11:30 back to our hotel in Alexandria. So I want to clarify that we would not have gone there, regardless of how politically motivated it may have been or not. We knew better to do that. But to say this, in the 3 times that we went there, one of the things that I saw in D.C. was the buildings that were boarded up with OSB. OSB is a piece of wood that's a 4x8 sheet that you put on windows so that if like a hurricane's coming through, it doesn't blow the window in and damage inside of the building. But all these buildings, and we took pictures of them, talked about it 100 times, of how many buildings downtown D.C. had OSB knocked. Was that put there to protect Republicans or Democrats? Go ahead.
I'm glad you brought that up. I talked to a police officer out there, right in front of our hotel, the same hotel you're talking about. There was police officers. You remember, walked out. They're everywhere. So I asked one of them, "What's up with all these boards going on?" Like, I see CVS is boarded up. I see Walgreens is boarded up. I see all these stores, little corner stores, boarded up. What's going on? Well, we're doing this because of the riots. Oh, and keep in mind now, everybody keep in mind, January 6th has not even happened yet. Not even happened yet. So what riot are you referring to? Antifa? Absolutely. So they literally, the citizens of D.C. Remember, we walked into and got us a little lunch somewhere, and we asked the guy behind the counter what's going on with stuff being boarded up too, and his literal answer is Antifa.
I want to address that because now my wife was with me and my son Jordan, and we were coming back about 3 o'clock, maybe 2:30, 3 o'clock, and on our way, I think it was on 14th Street, and we passed this little place that serves sushi rolls. We go inside, and we're talking to this gentleman.
And he's a Democrat.
Yeah, he's a Democrat. Yeah. And he said, but look, you guys are really nice. I just want to inform you about something. He says, look, you need to be aware that there is a massive Antifa rally that is going to be extremely violent this evening.
He said, don't even wear anything patriotic. Don't wear the American flag.
Do not wear the American flag. Do not wear anything that would symbolize the Republican Party. Now, we kind of laughed at that and thought, well, this is D.C. But now you walk through the streets and almost every building has OSB boarded up for the windows. And this isn't Republicans attacking.
No, these are liberals.
This is Antifa, which supports the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party knew and were using them as a tool of violence to get their message out. And so we come out that night and we see the most hellish violence that we had ever seen in our life by Antifa inflicted upon right-wing conservatives. And I never heard it condemned by anybody on the left to say that the expression was, well, they're just expressing their freedom of speech.
And please, show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
And this is how they're doing it. They have a right to assemble and just don't be in the way, just don't go out there. They weren't condemning the violence. They were very, very violent. I took videos that and I posted the violence that Antifa was inflicting. I mean, they were tearing buildings up. They were throwing things through. And that's why they had the OSB. And it was okay. And if you had an American flag on, I guarantee you'd have got your tail whooped good out there. Go ahead, son.
Well, so the thing that I want to bring up too is the fact that when he told us all of that, it was during the day. When the sun went down, as soon as the sun went down, what do we see? And we heard a boom, boom, boom. And that was batons hitting shields. Look out our hotel window, and there is a freaking line of Antifa, like ready for battle, like they are in battle formation, marching, and they're hitting those.
And they have some battle gear on too now.
Oh, they got all their riot gears on, and they got helmets on and everything. This is what that guy at the sushi place was talking about. Those people, because now keep in mind,
I got to say this, Jordan. If this guy knew that this thing was going to get that violent, where was the press? Why wasn't the FBI out there? Why wasn't the administration, that the left-wing administration, opposing this?
I know the answer.
Tell me, what is it?
I know the answer. Well, the same reason that you have the Capitol Police being told to, not come back. You got a police chief that said he was told not to come back, to actually leave. You have people open. That's why.
Okay, so here's the bottom line. Biden gets up and he makes this speech, and he's trying to warn the people that the right are terrorists and that any affiliation of them is a threat to democracy. When all the time, that's our whole battle cry, freedom. I mean, look at what we've claimed against Facebook, Instagram, who have been trying to shut down free speech. We've said that's not fair. We have done everything we can to express our rights, to allow people to say what they want to say. So, but here's the thing I want to say. And I want to say this to the people that are listening. Are you that stupid that you would listen to Biden make this rhetoric and buy into that?
Well,
at what level of intelligence does he think he's dealing with here?
He said mega Republican 26 times.
He's calling us out as terrorists because, and two, he knows that Trump is a threat to his presidency. And this is about power. It's a power play to manipulate people who he assumes are stupid enough to listen to him and say, you know what, that is right, that is true. The bottom line is, are people that dumb? Take off.
So I just want to read this real fast because, we're talking about political violence. We're talking about Joe Biden saying, I am against political violence. I am against it, that we should not condone it. So I just want to read this. This is a very good supporter of Joe Biden. Y'all may know her. She was the one, holding the head of Donald Trump. So Kathy Griffin gets on Twitter and says, if you don't want a civil war, vote Democrats in November. If you do want civil war, vote Republican. Now, I thought the mega Republicans were the extremists. Now, Steven Crowder, he's another podcast guy. He has his own show, Louder with Crowder. I'm sure y'all probably know about it. He tweeted something that was nowhere near as aggressive as this. He said something like war is coming or something along the lines. I'm paraphrasing. I can't remember the quote. But he says, have a good night or sleep well or something like that. CNN and all of these news outlets condemned him for that. They're like, he's calling for war. He's calling the right to war. He's calling all of these right extremists. He's an extremist. They're coming for war. But you don't hear nothing of Kathy Griffin actually saying, if you don't want a civil war, vote Democrats. If you do, vote Republican. That in itself is an extremist. So Biden, who are you talking to here, brother?
Is it that, and I just want to ask our listeners out here, does he assume that when he's making a speech like that, does he think he's bringing the country together? Because he said in his election campaign that when I become the president, if I do, he said, I'm going to bring the country together. Now, when you stand on a world scene media outlet and you're at Independence Hall in Philadelphia, and you're calling out 80 million Americans and you're labeling them extremists and terrorists, is that bringing the country together?
Well, Dad, tell me one thing he's done that has brought the country together.
Well, did he lie? Did he lie? Because they said Trump lied.
Well, Dad, he said that he said the whole Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation.
What he's accusing me of is a Russian plant.
You mean the laptop is now another Russia hoax?
That's exactly what.
Is this where you're going? This is where he's going. The laptop is Russia.
Gentlemen, I want to stay on the issue of race.
You have to be kidding. Here we go again with Russia.
So of course he lied. Of course he lied about all of that. If you lie about something like the Hunter Biden laptop, knowing the FBI is going to have it, knowing it's going to come out, and you just wait till after the election before you let all the little things come out about it, of course he lied. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Now, you see that this is just a power play. This is about, and it's the only game they've got. They don't have another game in town. They want to step on the heads of all of the right-wing conservatives, mega Trump people, whoever you want to call them, and hopefully somebody will say, well, you know, you look bad, but you look a little better than the right. That's his goal. But don't be fooled by this, because Biden really doesn't have a plan for America.
No.
His plan is to defame everything around him, so he makes himself look a little bit better. Here's the deal. This thing, I want to call it a thing because I don't even want to give the credit to being a speech, is a hoax in terms of reality. Be smart, people. Vote these people out of office. Let's find answers for this country, and let's move forward. Once again, thank you, New America Movement. God bless you, and have a great day.